Welcome to Adrienne's Ps and Qs. It's everyday etiquette with your host, Adrienne Barker. Here she is on location. Welcome, Adrienne.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm very excited to be here this morning on Adrienne's Ps and Qs. My name is Adrienne Barker with Professional Global.
Sorry.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm very excited to be here this morning on Adrienne's Ps and Qs. My name is Adrienne Barker with Professional Global Etiquette. And Debbie, I got a surprise. I'm very excited about this. I'm actually going to give you a break, Deborah, and I am going to talk with Cesar Becerra. Caesar is an amazing man. I'm not going to tell the story because Caesar's going to tell the story. Caesar's got a lot of things to tell us about what's going on. I'm going to ask him some questions, and it's always going to tie into etiquette and the right things to do and the wrong things to do and how to enjoy life and be kind to everyone that you meet along the way. And the world is our travel oasis, and that's what Caesar does. So let's jump right in. Hello, Caesar.
Thank you. Hello, Adrienne. It's so good to be here. Let me tell you, I love that you said how to live a life, because everybody that I bump into generally tells me, man, Caesar, I would love to switch places with you. You live such an interesting life. And I do. I'm not going to say I don't. What people don't understand is it does take some work sometimes to live a life of, I call it epicosity. Actually, a good friend of mine had this website years ago, epicosity.com, and his term was, well, he and his friends would take themselves and throw themselves off of waterfalls that had never been done by kayak. Ooh. They weren't interested if it's done one or two times. And they came up with this philosophy called epicosity, and I kind of live that. So right now I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and just 2 days from now I'll be on a Greyhound bus heading to Phoenix, and then I will literally be kind of what I call thrown out of like a cannon into another sphere. I have slowly been walking across America for the last 13 consecutive summers since 2004. So that means from Key West, Florida to Phoenix, Arizona, I have been walking slowly 3,200 miles for diabetes. I'm type 2 diabetic. So years and years ago when I was diagnosed, I'm kind of an extremist, and my doctor said, you're going to have to do something that I know you're not going to like to hear, Caesar. You're going to have to exercise. Because I was the king of all couch potatoes. I hated to move, hated to sweat, all that stuff. So I'm an extremist, so I said, you know what? I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail. And I did. And after that, I got addicted to long-distance walking as a form of a hobby. Like, if you would have told me years ago you were going to be loving to walk long distance, I said, you must be crazy. So I am going to be doing another 91-mile section in a roughly about 105 degrees during the day and about 87 degrees at night. I have a whole philosophy of how I'm going to do that, but I'll get to that in a second. But, the etiquette and protocol, interesting in the long-distance hiking community, is no one really checks if I've done it or all. It's just on our own. I'm doing what's called flip-flopping, meaning I'm not doing a linear walk. Sometimes I'm going west, sometimes I'm going east. As long as I piece together all these things, and the etiquette falls on me, I will feel terrible knowing if I tell somebody after I finish this trip that I skipped a section. I just don't do that.
Now, I want to make it clear to the listeners that you're not walking with a group of people. Who are you walking with?
Just myself. I have a lot of help. So in this next section, Diane Leave, a good friend of mine, who started as a couch surf friend and now is just a friend, she's going to be actually helping me put out 180 bottles of water every half mile so that I don't have to take that weight, because water weight is, every gallon's 8 pounds, so that's a lot of weight. So for 91 miles, I won't have to lug water per se. I'll get to the bottle of water, I'll douse it, drown it. If I have a little bit too much and I haven't been drinking from the last time, I'll pour it in my spritzer, and I have a little spritzer that just spray bottle that just spritz my body.
Wait, but how do you keep it cold? How are you keeping water cold? You got little coolers?
Well, no, I came up with this interesting system back in New Mexico, which is kind of odd. I'm not going to use it this time, and I'll tell you why, but I do want to tell you about the system. I kept going out to these places that, in New Mexico, and I got to the water, and it would be searing in the sun. And there's nothing psychologically more draining than opening up a bottle and seeing almost steam coming out, basically. And I said, there's got to be a different way. So the next time I was going to do another section, I went to a thrift store, and I thought what I was going to do is looking for towels, and maybe I'd wrap it up in towels. And I got a bunch of towels that I could rip up and wrap. But then on my way out, I saw this big fluffy bag on the top of a ledge there at the thrift store, and I brought it down, and it was diapers. And I was like, my brain was like, well, it's a better deal than the towels. It's $2 for all these diapers. And the towels are like $1 a piece. I'm like, I'm going to try this. So I took the diapers, rolled up the water bottles, would set them out, and lo and behold, when I'd get to the water bottles, not only were they cool, but some were actually cold because, unbeknownst to me at the time, I should have known because I work at Nature's Classroom, and we have a class called Diaper Dissection.
Oh, that's
How do
funny.
diapers do their thing? There is a actual fine powder inside all diapers that collect moisture and expands into a gel.
Yes.
And what it does is it actually creates an insulation.
So, Caesar, this is unbelievable. Diapers. Keep going about this.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
So I got to some of the diapers, and lo and behold, some were actually not only cool, but cold. And I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, wait, what do you mean cold? It's the middle of the day. It's hotter than blazes out here. And then I learned that basically when moisture hits diapers, this powder expands into a gel, and it kind of covers it. But it was raining out at that time some nights, and some nights in New Mexico at night it would hit 40. So what it was doing is retaining the 40-degree weather from that and not letting the sun bake it.
Whoa!
So I was coming across bottles that were cold, and there's nothing better than drinking cold water on a hot day. So that's one of many processes I stumbled upon. I don't know, I'm saying I own the patents to it. But, that's one way I cool them down. In this section, I do have enough tents. I'll be laying out 5 tents every 15 miles, and there'll be water wrapped in there, so they're not going to get seared. And the rest I'm just going to find shady spots for it, because I'm not going to wrap 180 things in diapers. I'd have to haul the diapers out, so it'd be a little too much. But anyway, that's one way that I'll do it. So I'm going to do a 91-mile section, 6 days, and then that'll be it for this section. As I continue across the country, I'm only down to like 400 miles to finish.
So you've been doing this for 13 years.
For 13 years. For 13 summers.
For 13 summers. So in order to not lose your momentum, and because you have been so incredibly busy, you've decided the 6 days. Are you coming back to finish it up? Is it next year?
I'll probably come back out in March. Was a nicely more amenable weather.
Amazing, yeah.
I've been doing it in the summers because the summers is generally the only time that I had off. But now I have more time in different parts of the year. So I'm going to start switching because as I get older, it's harder and harder to do this stuff. However, I know what's going to happen when I pop out there. As rusty as I get, because I only do this once a year, once I get into it, it's almost like I've become a kid again. And walking, by the way, for me started as a kid. My love of walking. My mother and father lived a block from our school, or 2 blocks from our school. So we walked to school for the first 5 years of my life. I didn't know a commute, even though it was Miami. We walked to school. Later I got sedentary and overweight, and I lost it. But when I got back to the love of walking, I realized walking is in my blood from day one. So I just get back in. And a lot of people worry and fear that I'm out in this hot weather. But I actually like the hot weather. There's something detoxing about the hot
literally,
weather.
That's true.
You just sweat it all out. But out here with a good breeze, sometimes I don't sweat on hot days because there's a nice breeze and it's dry. It's a dry heat here. I'm from Florida.
Yes.
So if you know what Florida heat is like with the humidity, this is like a godsend.
But there's no break. I mean, you've got the sun pounding on you. It's not like there's big
I got
shades.
my white hat.
Okay, good.
I got my sunscreen.
Yeah.
I got my spray bottle. I also, I will also be putting every 5 miles a gallon jug, and so that gallon I could actually literally bathe out there and get my body cooled down. And sometimes when I come across, and there's a couple of little rivers that are crossed, I take my shirt off, put it in the river, nice cold. And actually, sometimes it's so cold, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm putting this shirt.
That's awesome.
And it just cools you down.
That is
so there's different ways to do that.
So you're raising. It's really, you're not raising money, but you're raising awareness. And that's great. And how do people know and find out more information about?
Well, my website is planetcesar.com, and that's planetcesar.com.
You got that PLANET, Planet CESAR.com.
That's right.
And Deb, I'll send this to you too, so that you have it to put up on the page, because it's an amazing site. Because Cesar has done so much, it's chock filled with information. And then you send some press releases out.
Yeah, I have a few feelers, although this is my first press piece this year.
Nice.
Last year I landed on the front of the Gallup newspaper, and other things. But I don't do much. I did a lot of press when I did the Appalachian Trail hike, which was a fundraiser. That one we raised $20,000 for junior JDRF and the ADA. But this was just more of an awareness campaign.
Wait, how long were you on the Appalachian Trail?
That was a year and 23 days straight, not unlike this one, which is a section hike. That's what's called a through hike. So that one I stayed out in the woods for 14 states from Maine to Georgia, 2,160 miles through 4 seasons.
What year was this?
This was 2001 to 2002.
So there's no Facebook. There's just on the phone. You have a phone to talk to your parents?
No, I don't think there was a Facebook, actually.
No, there wasn't Facebook. It may be MySpace, but it doesn't matter. You literally left everyone behind.
Yeah.
And made all new friends. And now, are you considered an expert about the Appalachian Trails? Do you go back and talk about it?
Yeah, I actually give workshops on the Appalachian Trail. I have a book that I wrote about the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, what's the book called?
It's called Thorough Hiking. Instead of through hiking, it was thorough hiking.
Amazing.
At the time, I was married. I'm no longer married, but we also had a small miniature schnauzer, so we hiked the trail with the smallest dog to hike the Appalachian Trail. So as a team, we did a hike that was unusually slow. Instead of 15 to 20 miles a day, we did 8 to 10 miles a day. The average there. Now I average about 10 to 15 miles a day. I'll probably be doing like 15 miles. The first 2 days on this section are 10s, then 15s, and 117, somewhere in there.
Is your book still available on Amazon?
It is still available. No, it's on Planet, only on my website.
Okay, on the Planet. Okay, so Planet Cesar. So Cesar, you are. Describe yourself again. Describe yourself.
I'm a modern day nomad.
Deb, do you love that? A modern day nomad?
I do, yes.
I love and am intrigued by making a life on the go. For example, I'm writing an interesting book right now.
You're writing a book?
I'm writing a book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about an interesting family, Adrienne.
Tell me more.
Yeah, it's about your family.
My family.
Yeah, surprise.
So, Deb, Cesar is the man that is hired to write my parents' story. He wrote a beautiful book called Robert is Here. And can you just tell us, before we talk about my family, tell about Robert is Here, just so we can understand.
I wrote a book 2 years ago called Robert is Here. It's about a farmer in South Florida. Which started as a farm stand. When you consider farm stands, you know that the quintessential farm stand is a tent and a table and one person and a couple fruit or vegetables, and that's exactly how Robert began. Very small. Now whisk 55 years later, and he's got 65 employees, 45 part time and the rest full time. So it is a mammoth operation. Sometimes it's attacked by about 3,000 people in one day.
I got a chance to go there, Deb. It was amazing. The fruits were huge. My dad got a jackfruit that was like over $50, and then Sean ended up opening it up, and it was too early, and it was not ripe enough. Yeah. And Cesar was nice enough to go back and get it replaced so that we could all enjoy it, because it's the one that tastes like bubble gum. Deb, I'm going to ask you to go take a break right now and tell everyone about ProfessionalGlobalEtiquette.com, and we'll be right back with Cesar. Thank you.
Adrienne Barker is with ProfessionalGlobalEtiquette.com. You can find her there, or you can call her at 407-744-5355. She's a wonderful person, and she sent in this interview that we will be hearing part 3 right now.
Cesar, I was so happy to get my chance to go to Robert is Here, but I noticed the drinks. What? Tell us about the shakes that he has.
So over the years, the shakes have really